The human.
Oh, what's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the Invincible CultPop Podcast, episode 39, or legacy numbering 840.
It's a lot.
A show where we talk about movies and television and clandestine government agencies and all the other things that scratch your nerdy itches.
I thought that they had no allegiance to any government.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
really
just
took issue when you said
clandestine
Shoot.
protective agencies.
Can we start again?
Clandestine.
I mean,
all right,
I didn't
just,
say,
you know what?
I didn't
Scrap it.
say
Let's
that
go
this
home.
was related to the movie.
Oh, we just talk about
We
those
could
things.
just talk about clandestine
Which
government.
we now are.
See?
You're right.
Proved me right.
Pick your favorite three-letter alphabet organization, and then we're just going to chime on it for 90 minutes.
We're coming to you live from Young Junk HQ, a bomb-ass podcast production space in Philadelphia, PA.
A palm-ass production
I always
base.
mess it up, yeah.
He's a palm ass.
I'm your...
like French for apple.
Oh, what?
Palm-ass.
I recently learned that pomme is
Pomme?
French for apple.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Spell it.
P-O-M. There might be a little
Wait.
diacritic over the O. I don't
Does that mean the
remember.
actress Palm Clementia
She is an
named
apple.
after an apple?
She is an
She's
apple.
she's
You know that drink called Palm?
Nope.
oh yeah, well that's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's
Oh,
like
I
high
do.
class-
I thought
high
it was
class water.
pomegranate. I thought it was
Yeah,
pomegranate.
it's
I
pomegranate.
thought too.
yeah.
But,
But it's apple.
well,
No,
at
it's
least
pomegranate.
Is it pomegranate?
that drink might be pomegranate. And it wouldn't surprise me if the word pomegranate is related. But that's
To
what caused me
apple?
to find out.
Our
that it
names
was-
don't matter. This is important.
Yeah, I say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you say this is a show where we talk about comics and movies and,
And-
word derivations and drinks?
That's
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah, I
what
thought
said.
so.
That's a direct quote.
Clandestine
Yeah.
word dairy. Yeah.
I'm your host, Johnny
Hey.
Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex. It's a comic shop. You've heard all this before. With me this week is...
Brian, leave.
And...
Hi.
Nope. Try again.
Oh, okay.
Your name.
Me.
I'm
So
young.
close. He, him.
This
This is Noel.
No.
Also in the booth is our trusty producer.
It's me, Dylan. Hi.
Dylan.
Before we get into tonight's discussions, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. We love that you are here with us. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Like, comment, subscribe, click the bell notification, do all that happy horse shit. We actually have a letter.
We have letters.
We have lots and lots of letters. Hi, Eddie, in the chat. Speaking of the chat, he says, howdy, y'all.
What up, buddy?
So this is from our previous producer, Terry Leahy, and it says,
Executive producer.
oh, he's the executive. Is he our executive producer?
Previous producer, current executive producer, all-time troll,
Yes.
Terry Leahy.
Yeah, like
He's-
that last time when he said that we were doing great. What a dick.
Yeah.
But I still don't believe he was being.
Oh, you think it was
honest.
sarcastic?
Yeah.
Like gaslighty move, Terry.
Yeah, sure. Bud.
He says it's called Brian Lieb impression. Can everybody please attempt your best Brian Lieb impression on air? Ask Dylan to demo what I'm talking about and encourage fans to submit their own Brian Lieb impression as well. So, Dylan, I don't know what he's talking about. Can you fill us in?
Oh, you did just as instructed.
So Terry was doing his best Brian Lieb earlier when he was here, and it went a little bit like, "Haha, I'm Brian Lieb." But
Was that you?
No, but I can
Wait,
see why you might think
you
so.
threw your voice
It
to the
sounded
other
like
side
he
of the
was
room,
throwing
yeah.
his voice to you.
Yeah.
I always wanted
Yeah.
to be able to
Wow. Yeah.
do that. I've really thought about that a lot in my life.
So he wants us all. Now, here's the thing. Ever since I've met Brian,
Yeah.
Before I knew his name, because he would come into the comic shop, I think,
Hi.
and I would just be like, "Oh yeah, the guy with the sexy voice."
Thank you.
Yeah. And they'd be like, "Oh, that's I know who you're talking about. The
Yeah.
guy with the sexy voice."
But
And
they
I,
didn't know my name either.
but I have, as you can hear, this voice, which haunts me every time I open my mouth, and I cannot do a Brian Lieb. Ha ha! See, I can't go deep.
So there's two schools of thought.
Only.
Only two.
All right.
There's two schools of thought about that also.
Two schools of thought about impressions.
Yeah.
They are either slavishly accurate
Mm.
or they capture the essence of who you are satirizing.
Yes.
So I think you could probably do something in the vein of the second, the latter.
Yeah.
Don't worry about being accurate. Capture the Brian.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. That was pretty good. That was good.
I did it.
That did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
I think I think I have a short one.
All right, here we go.
All right.
That was interesting.
No, wait. Let me do it again. Let me go again.
That's what I would if I was like grandstanding about something.
Yeah.
I got another one.
Here
one.
we
Ready?
go.
What movie? Oh no, I haven't seen that.
That's
good.
perfect.
See, that was a
That's
good one.
perfect.
That was a good one.
Had I seen this film,
Yeah.
I would have felt this way about that.
See, the joke
Yeah.
is that we did a whole
4
many,
weeks.
many episodes.
4 weeks.
Counting down our favorite movies. And he was like, I haven't seen 99% of these films.
Had I, but I really like the title of this
The
one.
title's
The title.
good. Yeah.
It's important. And I also pick wine based on the
Oh.
coolness of it. All right, let me.
Label bottom.
No,
I'm Brian Lieb.
see, that's spot on.
Yeah.
Did you know
that's
this
the other
thing
side.
was the way that it is? I heard once that you felt differently.
Let me-
and I would like to chat
Perhaps
about
I can.
the way that you think this thing was. But that reminds me.
Perhaps I can expound on the specificity of one very, very minute idea
Yes.
for the next 25 minutes.
There are no minute ideas, Noel, only powers of magnification.
Forgive me
damn.
for quantifying the idea of ideas
You are forgiven.
in such a minuscule manner. That's it. I got nothing.
All right. So thank you,
It's lovable,
Terry.
though. Yeah.
Please
Send in your.
type out your own
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian Lieb impression.
Yeah. Type out Brian Lieb impressions and who you want to read them.
Yeah.
And
that would be
or
great.
send in a recording of
Yes.
your best Brian
Yeah.
Lieb impression.
Either or both of those would be awesome.
Yeah.
Terry also, I feel, should provide some sort of recording.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, Terry, you should email us in a recording of your Brian Lieb impression.
Yeah, you coward.
All right. That's the intro. I think we nailed it.
As
we
we
did a
always
really
do.
good job.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go on to the next portion of the show, which I lovingly call What You Been Up To This Week. Huh?
Now do it as Brian.
No. All right.
That's
No,
something I
why
might
don't
do.
you kick us off with What You Been Up To This Week?
I'm going to kick us off with what I've been up to this week,
Punt.
with thematically.
Okay.
Thematically.
Okay.
So I love horror.
Hmm.
Mostly film and television horror. However, I don't always get to experience it in my home, for my significant other doesn't love horror as much.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it's stealing it in pieces during the daytime and or when we're not watching something together. I got to experience both of those this weekend. When I was cleaning my office, I put on a horror movie, and we found a horror television show that we both watched together that was like the right speed, right?
Yeah.
So the movie is this little flick everyone's been talking about for the last 3 years called Terrifier.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, is anybody aware of Terrifier?
No.
Everybody
I am
of Terri-
aware of it.
Have you seen? You know what? It's okay.
It's for something that everyone's
Yeah.
talking
You're-
about. I have never heard of.
Everyone
And you're
in
never
the
going to.
horror
I already
sequel,
did.
you'll never hear. Yeah,
No, I
it's
mean, you're
fine.
never going to watch it.
Oh no.
Ever.
No, you're never.
A movie called Terrifier?
Yeah.
Why would I?
It's
the
a-
opposite of what I'm looking for in a
It's
movie.
a murderous clown.
Name Art.
Named Art.
Art
The
the clown.
movie is all vibes, barely any plot,
Hmm.
and ridiculous logic. It was fun. It was dumb.
Hmm.
It wasn't. I didn't enjoy watching it, but it was effective for what it was. And I watched it on VHS, so it was very grainy and very like the quality was shitty. And I think that's the only way to watch it.
So you have a VCR.
I do have a VCR.
Is it but okay, what's the television situation? You've got a VCR, but do you also have like a tiny TV to watch your VCR
no,
VHS movies on?
I have a VCR that's connected to my normal television,
Ah.
and the aspect ratio of the VCR or of the VHS will automatically stretch or compress to a 3:4.
Oh, okay.
How is that? Is
That
that
sounds
good or
awful.
bad?
No, it's fine.
Oh, is
all
it?
right.
Yeah, it's fine because so these are VHSs of newer movies done specifically by a company called Witter Entertainment and Broke Horror Fan. So they're transferring
I gotcha.
Yeah.
they're transferring widescreen aspect ratios to a VHS. It's not the original film that
I
was
see.
put on a VHS in a 4:4 without widescreen televisions.
Yeah.
So
Kinda
these are
thing.
new.
They're new movies on VHS.
Oh yeah, Terrifier is
Like-
only a couple years old.
Yeah,
The
but
film.
Okay.
I would have brought. Actually, I think I did a Thunder Round on it at one
Thunder
point.
Round.
Yeah. But I do have older VHSs
Yep.
of just older movies that I watch every once in a
Same.
while, and it my television automatically crops it to 4:4. It's
Nice.
not a big deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't care, and you didn't ask me, audience. But I went and bought an old. It's just a square white TV with a VCR inside of it. So and it kind of pivots.
I'm
It's about that big, and it's very tiny.
pretty sure mine does it though because it's a VCR DVD combo. So the DVDs play it widescreen, and then I don't know. But this one was slightly stretched out to widescreen, but it was still VCR quality, like graininess, and honestly that's probably the only way to watch this.
Do you
Because the
recommend
movie is-
Terrifier?
Do you like ridiculous gore?
No.
Yes. See, I tried to watch Terrifier because of all the hubbubbery going on with Terrifier 2. It's been a big deal. And so I was like, I know I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch Terrifier. I tried it the one time and I didn't make it through it. I got sleepy or whatever. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make it through it. And then I made it about 20 minutes in and I went, never mind. And I just turned it off.
That's just it. I don't think the movie. Sorry, I don't think the movie's good. But I'm very appreciative of the swing by the creators and the cast and just making the movie. It was done on a completely shoestring budget. It's a net new supernatural character that has like captured the zeitgeist of the little horror community, and art is everywhere already. Just a short period of time.
The
And I think it's worth it if this is your bag, but this is not going to be a gateway movie for or
I
a
thought-
crossover movie.
I thought
No.
this would be my bag, and I was surprised to find that I just didn't care about it.
From what I understand, all the things that you may not have liked about the first one are just
Enhanced.
doubled and
Yeah.
enhanced in the second one. The second one makes even less sense and has even more weird shit in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if you're okay with like just people getting cut in half and slow frame, then that's your thing.
Robert Monroe Jr., I caught Terrifier 2 in the cinema with my daughter. She said that there are scenes in the movie that still makes her queasy. Eddie Madison asked, have you ever seen Team America World Police? That's the
yeah.
one with the puppets, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. Nice. Yeah.
He just saw it this week, and he thought it was very funny.
It's
I
a good
agreed
one.
with him. I mean, I saw it when it was in the theaters, but it was a very funny movie.
Every so often, I do still use the animated GIF of the Muppet, the puppet vomiting. Yeah.
The other thing that I watched this week
Oh, yes.
that my wife and I watched together was Midnight Mass. Again, I'm another 2 years late on this. It's a Netflix event series, 8 episodes long, about a sleepy fisherman town, like Massachusetts. Let's say Massachusetts.
Sure.
A small island, population about 150 people. A new priest comes to town, and shit goes awry. It's the easiest way to talk
There you go.
about
Yeah,
it.
perfect. I was waiting to see if you would spoil it, but no, good
It's
job.
Flanagan, Mike Flanagan,
Yep.
who has also done The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor,
Hush.
Oculus, Hush, Doctor Sleep, Midnight Society.
Yeah.
Society? Yeah.
Midnight Club.
Club, sorry. But it's just, he's got a very slow, methodical storytelling style
Yeah.
that's very actor friendly. The show was phenomenal,
Yes.
just in every way, shape, and form. It's just a masterclass of acting and pacing. However,
Uh-huh.
I could do without maybe 15% less monologues and slow pans.
Uh-huh.
Single take monologues and slow pans. There's a point in the show where literally no one communicates unless it's a soliloquy. And it's just kind of like, okay, let's go. It needs just a little bit more pep. And maybe it would have had it if it was just maybe like 2 episodes shorter.
Yeah.
But
At least 2 monologues shorter.
at least.
Yeah.
That's a whole episode.
I concur, Doctor.
Yeah.
I watched Midnight Mass as it was coming out, and I was just so into it. And the one actress, the redheaded meanie, actually my wife like went to acting school with her, and so it was fun to watch her on screen because she's like, I know her, and she was awesome. She was. I wish I could remember her name.
There's no
but
poor note in that
yeah,
show at all.
everybody in that show is firing on all cylinders. It's very, very good. It's very spooky. There is some really great reveals in that show that I did not
Yeah.
see coming.
It's one of those shows where they don't try and like hide the truth from you. They just slowly reveal it. So you're watching the first episode, you're like, nah, it's gonna be this with this. And you're right. But then they add another little thing onto it. And you're like, oh, maybe it's this with this. And you're right. but then they add another little thing onto it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it builds like a snowball falling downhill to the point where you're just like, I can't stop watching this, and I have to make sure that I finish it
Yeah,
immediately.
and so I had genuine chills in a couple of scenes
Yeah.
that I won't spoil, but highly recommend Midnight Mass. Do you?
Oh yeah, highly recommend it.
How
Yeah.
did Sam like it? Your wife, who
She loved
doesn't
it.
like horror?
She loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the perfect mix. It had horror elements, but it was more of a show about people on an island.
All right,
You might
audience.
Indeed.
Like it.
I have a question for you guys. So he doesn't like, or why am I not you? Sam doesn't like horror movies.
Yeah.
But loved Midnight Mass. Do you think Sam would also like The Haunting of Hill House? Because I think that might be a little bit too spooky. So let us know in the chat or email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com.
But I love shows with endings, and it's got an ending.
Yeah.
I'm really tired of 17th season shows or
Oh, yeah.
cliffhangers that go nowhere, or just can this be the advent of the miniseries? Let's just bring that back.
Yeah.
Full stories and
I mean, I feel like we've
like
getting
having Carrie
our
Cass
share of them.
over.
Like Watchmen was a great
Sure.
one and
That
done.
was 4 years ago.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know what? For every like 3 or 4 you can name, there's 15 shows that
That's
are
just like,
overly ambitious and waste time and
But
stretch things out.
I will also put into that category shows where the creators have a whole story that they want to tell, even like Legion or Mr. Robot. Sure. Both not miniseries, but they're like, we're only going 3 or 4 seasons.
Sure.
And then it's done. And they were really good. Now, I like having both around, right? Because
Yeah.
I love good ongoing stories that just keep going. But I do also really like we've got a whole story to tell, and we're going to tell it.
Yeah.
I think
mean-
there's something in between.
And there's also like when there's been a bunch of shows that I've watched that I'm actively sad ended. Like Halt and Catch Fire. I was actively like, man, that show, I can't watch more of that. That's done. Shoot. I kind of missed the characters. So,
Yeah.
Never
Um,
seen it.
Hey, Brian, what
Hey,
you been
what's
up to
up?
this week? Huh?
Well, I saw some really cool architecture.
Yeah?
And,
Where'd
you
you-
know,
where?
in
Like,
South Beach,
Manayunk? Oh.
Miami. I don't know that people want to hear about it, but if you do, please write in the chat if you want to hear about some interesting things about Art Deco architecture, or write us an email at whatever our email is.
CultPopGo@gmail.com.
That's the one. And just request this. But I will now talk about Solar Opposites, the
okay.
TV show. Season 4 just started. The guy who did the main voice,
Justin Roiland
yes,
of
Solar Opposites,
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty,
Yeah.
is out of both of those shows.
Oh, wait. Oh, so this Solar Opposite season 4 is without Justin Roiland?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who's the new voice actor?
Thomas Middleditch
Interesting.
Oh.
is
Who was already on the show?
outstanding. Was he already on the show?
Yeah. He was like the best friend. He was like the second in command.
Are you sure?
Wait, are we talking about the guy from who's Middleditch? From
He's in
fucking
Middleditch and Schwartz. He was
Pied
in
Piper. What's the fucking
That
show
one.
called?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's him. He was on the show. He was already on Solar Opposites.
Oh yeah. You know what? No, that's who he plays. It's somebody else.
Oh.
It's
You keep talking. I'll look it up. Don't
yeah. Look it up because I thought it. Okay.
Ha
I thought it was Dan Stevens, and then I saw Thomas Middleditch just before the show. He does play Terry.
Yeah.
Dan Stevens, also in Legion, the main character of Legion.
That's out from
Yes.
from one of my favorite
he was in
thrillers.
Downton Abbey. He was
The
in-
Guest.
Yep.
Ooh,
He's in one of my.
Yes.
If you haven't
The Guest.
seen The Guest, one of my all-time favorite thrillers called The Guest, starring Dan Stevens. Check it out.
He's
Accurate.
awesome. All of those things that
He's
I mentioned
great.
are awesome, and the Eurovision thing was awesome. With Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams. Oh, it's a funny movie. Isn't it? Yeah.
So wait, he does the voices?
He does the voice of Corvo, the character that Justin Roiland
Is he
had
doing a
previously
Justin
done.
Roiland or is
No.
he?
So the first scene, the very first scene of this season, Terry buys the dartboard from Cheers, and he's like, "I'm going to play this."
Yeah.
And so he throws a dart, and it hits Corvo in the voice box, and he's like, "Get the voice fixer." So they get the voice fixer, and he starts talking like Dan Stevens, and then they're like, I could probably get it closer. And he's like, no, This is working for me. I like this.
That's cute.
And then they explain in every episode he says something a little bit different in the intro. And he says, yes, my voice talks like, or I talk like this now. I know it might be jarring, but there were also chronotons in that. So any flashbacks, I'll sound like this too. I thought it was very clever.
I actually was really surprised at how funny Solar Opposites wound up being.
Yeah.
Because it was another one. I was like, oh, great, it's another Rick and Morty. He's done so many of these Rick and Morty knockoffs, like just more of the same humor. But for some reason, the Solar Opposites show feels very different, even though there's a lot of the same vibes, a lot of the same cadence, and the joke delivery is very similar. There's something about that family that I quite enjoy watching.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting family dynamic where they're like friends and lovers and brother and sister, but also not. And they do a lot of cool kind of referencing sci-fi tropes without usually any specific shows. But yeah, it's got a very offbeat sense of humor. The whole thing with the wall. There's this whole side story where people
season
get
1, I think.
shrunk. Yeah. People get shrunk down and put in this wall and just kind of forgotten about, and they develop a whole society living in this wall. And occasionally it will just cut over to them, little, if anything, to do with or even influenced by the main plot. But yeah, it's this like power structure dynamic, this grand story happening there. So the changeover worked out fine. It was a little jarring, and it's weird that they went so different. Like a British accent as opposed to not.
That's awesome.
And but yeah, it's fun. It's a weird, quirky show. And
I'm kind of surprised you like it.
is that right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised about that.
You're surprised that I'm surprised? Yeah.
It's I never got into Rick and Morty, although I think I would like
feel
a lot
like
of
you
it.
would like Rick and Morty.
I started watching it, and the belching was too much for me.
You did say that.
And
they got rid of that.
That's what I heard, and
Yeah.
I'm not like opposed to checking it out because a lot of the stuff that they have sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
I love a good multiversal council.
Oh, there's a lot of that. A lot of good sci-fi stuff.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
But no, Solar Opposites is, I don't know, it's a little, I guess I could see why you would think I wouldn't be into it, but I think it's very clever and cool. And it continues an interesting trend of the thing now is like the alien or the weirdo is just there. And that's not a plot point. Everyone's like, these aliens. Like they're always getting their sci-fi bullshit. And I love how they refer to their stuff as sci-fi too.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Doesn't Lower Decks do that too?
Wait, what do you mean?
Lower Decks does that. Sci-fi shit's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Sci-fi stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a weird energy thing.
Yeah, like it's a sci-fi thing. The sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
So I had a pretty.
What you been up to this week,
my
huh?
God. Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
I'm going to speak without any address.
I have been on like a Dracula kick unintentionally. So I saw
Sure doesn't like being kicked.
Renfield. That was a Brian joke.
Well done.
There was I saw Renfield, starring
Nicolas Cage.
and
Nicholas Holt.
Thomas. Oh, Nicholas Holt.
Thomas Middleditch, actually.
He does the voice of Nicholas Holt.
Yeah, he does the voice of Nicholas Holt playing Nicolas Cage in Renfield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it. Which was delightful. It's really over the top. It's very bloody. It's a comedy, and it is. I was not sure how I would feel about Nicolas Cage as Dracula,
He's
and he
fantastic.
was perfect.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
awesome. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would.
It's great and everything, man.
like
And
him.
then last night I went and saw the last voyage of the
Demeter.
Demeter. Thank you.
Demeter.
I always have trouble with
What do
that.
you want?
The last voyage of the Demeter, directed by Andre Avradel, and it's based on the captain's log section of the Bram Stoker's Dracula. And it's basically just the voyage when Dracula has to travel from Transylvania to England. And the boat shows up and everyone's dead.
I
And
wonder what happened.
Yeah. Probably something to do
Wait,
with the giant Batman.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
They billed it as a mystery, this movie. Like,
they?
I saw at least one tag or something that was like, that finally answers the mystery of what happened on the ship.
Oh.
Look, there was Dracula was there.
Yeah. It was Dracula. He did it.
Finally, what answers the
These specific
obvious details.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was fine. It was very fine. It's basically, I came to the conclusion, it's Alien on a ship.
And the alien does not lose.
And also the alien does not lose.
Right.
But also Alien was also Alien on a ship.
It was a different kind of ship.
It was a different kind of
yeah.
ship, but it was still a ship. So it was just basically Alien.
Okay.
Except Dracula was the alien.
And Earth is in space. So that ship was also in space.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You're right. So yeah, but it was a little bit too long in the tooth.
Like Dracula has the long teeth sometimes.
Help
or
me. Help me.
Has anyone else seen Last Voyage of the Demeter?
I haven't seen it.
Don't look at me, brah.
Have you read Bram Stoker's Dracula?
No.
I don't think I have, actually.
Oh, also
I'm familiar with the
surprisingly
story.
boring novel.
I know.
That doesn't
Yeah,
surprise
I was-
me. It was,
Yeah, like also unsurprisingly boring novel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
damn it. I
mean,
was surprised.
It was written a long time ago. I find and it was probably really cool when it came out. I find it's more impressive when you read something from a while ago and you're like, oh, this is holding up
this
real
is
well.
great. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Last Voyage of the Demeter is good if you just want to go see a horror movie, see a alien attack movie, a monster movie. I was surprised that he is basically just the bat the whole time. You know, because there are times you saw the movie where he's Gary Oldman and he's got the dapper hat and the
Sure.
little soul patch and the round sunglasses and he looks all cool and shit. But in this, he's just like, nah, I'm just going to be a bat the whole time.
He was like kind of low on powers, right? He was
I imagine
kind of
that was it.
struggling.
Yeah, he was just reverting to his
being,
bat-like
being
self.
shipped
his
in the
bat
dirt.
nature.
Did
Yeah.
he, by the end of it, was he the suave, sexy?
No!
vampire? They didn't get to that where he
No.
steps off the ship and he's like, I'm me.
Hey, who's
Oh,
steering?
blah blah.
Who's steering the ship?
Well, that's
Dracula. So that's why he did it. He's just like,
Yeah,
I
but,
just
like,
wanted to steer the ship.
they wouldn't let me do the
Oh, there's like a good 12 hours where he's just hoping it's in the right direction.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm bound to get somewhere.
It's funny. It took like one trip, like a 2-month trip, took him like 3 years.
Robert Monroe says, I'm going to see The Last Voyage with my twins this weekend. Robert Monroe, let us know what you thought about it.
Hey, do you know the connections between the dapper high-class vampire and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Tell me.
And so there was this one night where Mary Shelley, her husband Percy Bysshe Shelley, writer of Ozymandias and many, many other things, and their doctor were staying, like vacationing, right, in, I think it was like a particularly bad climate. Like there was a major climate thing happening.
Snowstorm, I believe.
It's like the year without a summer. And like some stuff like that. And so they were all just stuck in this house, and they challenged each other to a writing contest. And Percy Bysshe Shelley wrote something which is in some way interesting, but I don't remember what it is. Mary Shelley started Frankenstein, and their doctor wrote the first vampire story where instead of being depicted as these like gruesome animalistic creatures, he wrote it as a sophisticated, sensual vampire.
No kidding.
And
So
that
that-
doctor's name was Anne Rice.
Who was a vampire herself.
Yeah, she was alive for 500 or 600 years. Yeah, duh.
She's like, I'm tired of people saying I'm not pretty and I'm not sophisticated. But no, that's where that modern sort of version of a
Incarnation?
vampire,
Who's the
which has really
doctor?
taken over.
Frankenstein.
I don't remember. He was just, yeah. Nice.
There's too many fucking dad jokes
He
today.
was, you could say he was Frankenstein's dad. That's why I think it's perfectly reasonable to call the monster Frankenstein.
See?
It's his name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not? It's the name of the novel.
Yeah, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Actually,
Not
I think it's
Mary
probably just
Shelley's
Frankenstein.
Dr. Frankenstein.
Exactly. Who wants to hear about that?
It's you just sniffing Dylan behind the camera.
Move on.
He's been using.
Oh, okay, I'm going to move on. So, the main thrust of our show tonight will be to discuss Netflix's new movie that dropped, directed by Tom Harper, written by Greg Rucka, which is the whole reason that we were kind of excited to even talk about this. Greg Rucka being a very prolific, well-known, talented comic book writer,
Novelist.
novelist as well. I haven't
is
read
that right?
I haven't read
Oh,
one
yeah,
of his
yeah.
novels. Have you?
I don't remember. I was really into it for a while, and I own one or two, but I can't remember if I finished it.
But he's popular for
Strong
the
recommendation.
I know. Well, it reads exactly as you would.
Yeah.
Carry on. And that, like, it reads exactly as you think it would for Greg Rucka. If you've read a lot of Greg Rucka,
Yeah.
it's very, very specific, very in the weeds with detail to a wonderful extent. But I think it works better in comic book than it does in novel form.
Often the case, as we have all noted before, switching from one medium to another.
Well, he's originally a
always happen right
novelist.
away.
It's just, but a
Oh,
lot of people
interesting.
love that much detail and that
okay.
much work. I'm okay with it.
So he's popular for Lazarus, a comic book series, as well as
Gotham Central, Old
Checkmate.
Guard, Checkmate,
Whiteout, right? That was him.
Whiteout,
Yeah.
Queen
and
and Country,
Yeah. So
Black Magic.
He's been around for decades, writing really great comic books, and so he
One of my
dropped
faves.
a movie this weekend that he wrote, directed by Tom Harper. It is called Heart of Stone, and it is starring
Gal Gadot,
and other people.
Jamie Dornan. That's it.
The solicitation says Rachel Stone is an intelligence operative, the only woman
No.
who stands between her powerful global peacekeeping organization and the loss of its most valuable and dangerous asset.
What an odd way to use the phrase
Perhaps.
stands between.
Yeah.
She stands between them and their loss of something.
Yeah.
That's a weird,
It is strange.
weird turn
Yeah,
of
yeah.
phrase.
So Noel had let me know about this last week when we were
Yeah.
trying to decide what to talk about. And
Stumptown. That's correct.
Oh, yeah,
Rucka
Stumptown.
also wrote the Stumptown comic book that became the TV show, which was a very underrated TV show, by the way.
the second season was scrapped because of COVID.
Yep.
I was hoping that a streaming service would have picked it up, says Robert Monroe Jr.
Kobe Smulders and Jake Johnson.
You had said it was
Oh,
awesome.
Jake Johnson was.
Delightful show.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Noel. All
Yeah.
right, so we're going to talk about the movie. We're going to give our thoughts, sans spoilers, because it did just drop. And then we will throw up a banner to let you know when we're going to be getting into spoilers. But Noel, why don't you kick us off and tell me what were your thoughts going into this movie, and then what was your reaction to watching it?
So I was made aware of this. I want to say at the beginning of this year, year of our Lord 2023, in the January time. That's, I mean,
Some
you know,
people's lord.
Yeah.
said turn of phrase more so than a declaration of my
Sure, it
religious
seems that way.
acclivities. Yeah. In the year of his Lord 2023,
Brian Lieb's Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
which
been
is
around
Mary
longer
Shelley.
than this.
Yeah. In the year of Mary Shelley 2023, Netflix always does a coming this year kind of thing. Like a 5-minute teaser of a bunch of the movies that are coming out over the course of the year. What?
I've never known
I
that.
did not know that either.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's-
I've had
it's-
Netflix.
well,
They
because-
did not do a good job letting you know about
I
that.
mean,
Where was it like
it's
online?
Yeah, I mean, I
online.
didn't. It just happens, and
Okay.
they usually they give like little snippets or previews or electronic press kits of the big movies that they have coming out in the
Yeah,
year.
cool.
This was one of them, and I was like, that doesn't seem interesting whatsoever. I don't really care because Gal Gadot. I don't have strong feelings towards her. I think
No.
she was good in the most important movie that she's been in so far. That's about it. But then about 2 months ago, they dropped and it was like, coming summer of 2023. About 2 months ago, they dropped a full trailer, and I was like, okay, that looks serviceable. But then it said in big font, not like hidden, story by Greg Rucka, screenplay by Greg Rucka and another writer. So I was like, oh shit. Now I'm interested because I adore Greg Rucka's writing. And the last movie he scripted was based on his own story, which was The Old Guard.
Yeah.
And I loved that movie.
The Old Guard was great.
I loved that comic.
Yeah.
And the movie was really great. The movie made changes to the comic that made sense, and they were different experiences. I loved it. So I was kind of hype for this going in. My expectations for the movie itself were not high. Like it looked very by the numbers, and it is very by the numbers. But knowing Greg Rucka's work and what his process is like, because I've listened to fucking thousands of hours of like word balloon podcast where these writers just like pick apart everything. I know that he is incredibly detailed. I know that his research is through the roof. I know that he gets very in the weeds on the specifics of how organizations like this function and what their role is. Like I know that he digs into all that stuff. So I was optimistic,
Yeah, great.
cautiously optimistic.
Sure.
So on Friday night, my wife and I put this on. You want full, keep going? Or you guys want to do your experience?
We
Yeah,
From our
we'll move on.
experience.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Brian.
Then I'll say if we liked it or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had not heard of it until I, at the same time as JD heard of it,
Live
from
last
Noel.
week.
I was there at that point, and I don't want to be left out of that story. So,
You're trying to erase my experience, JD.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was
very
there
moving.
too.
It was very important to me. So Noel said, "Hey, what about Heart of Stone?" And we were like, "What?" And he said, "Greg Rucka had something to do with it." And we were like, "Oh, that sounds cool." Yeah. So we were both into it, as far as I took JD's mannerisms to be. Yeah. But
it was a hug.
It was, yeah. He hugged Noel, and then he hugged me for excitement after.
Took his pants off and started running around the street. It was really weird.
That's what he calls a hug.
Yeah.
And
Everyone who's met me knows that.
yeah, and so Gal Gadot, I do like. I think she's cool, even though I haven't seen her in too many things. But the movie was, like you said, it was very by the numbers. There were. I think it was a decent and fun enough B movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're getting out of this. Netflix has made some really awesome stuff, but there is also sometimes, just like there used to be, this is a cable movie.
Yes.
You know, there's that quality of, this is one of the ones that Netflix made.
Yeah.
The budget's higher, but yes, I agree. There's been a couple of those. I would put this on the same status. Well, maybe a little better than Red Notice. I don't know if you guys watched that one.
I didn't see that one.
That's the one with The Rock, her, and Deadpool.
Her is the name of someone?
Ryan
the person
Reynolds.
that we're referring to, Gal
Gal
Gadot.
Gadot.
I got you. Okay.
Her, Ryan Reynolds, and The Rock.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was fun. It was opulent. The Gray Man. Did you guys see The Gray Man?
I never heard
by
of
the
it.
Russo brothers.
I heard that was good.
It was actually pretty fucking cool.
Nice.
Movie, stupid.
Yeah.
Absolutely stupid, but it was very, very pretty, and the action scenes were good.
That's cool.
Extraction 1 and 2.
I liked Extraction.
The second one was fun.
Hemsworth. Yeah.
2 super cool. Like they have this almost like niche of we're gonna throw tons of money at an action movie with a bare bones plot,
Yes.
and the movie will succeed or fail based on how engaging the action is. That's it.
Yeah.
Because if you break it apart in any way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
it just kind of falls apart. So what did you think?
Well, I went into it. So Noel and I were by ourselves. Brian was not there. You were telling me that there was a Greg Rucka movie coming, and I was very excited. And I was like, man, I wish Brian was here to be part of this experience, but he wasn't.
And then I was like, but it's okay. All of our viewers are here.
Yeah.
And Brian was nowhere to be found.
Carl says, "Hey guys." Hi,
nice to-
Carl says, "Hey guys."
It's
Hi,
nice
Carl.
that while you're pretending I
Do you hear
wasn't
something?
there,
That I still.
you wanted me to be
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Did you hear that?
No. So I don't.
Like you can't hear me.
I don't particularly care about Gal Gadot.
Hey, it's Carl Carls.
She
Long time no see.
Sorry.
she's fine. And the only reason that I think she works as Wonder Woman is because her powers are magic based. So she doesn't have to look like she can do any of that stuff as long as it's magic based. She doesn't actually have to have muscles.
I actually have a theory about why I think the first Wonder Woman works so well, and other appearances of Wonder Woman are just like okay.
Do you want to?
Yes.
Can you do it
what is
quick?
that?
Yes,
'Cause I'm curious.
Like in the first Wonder Woman, she's a fish out of water, and there's almost like a maternal adorableness to
You're talking
her.
about the movie.
The
Wonder
movie,
Woman,
Wonder
not her
Woman,
first appearance. Okay, go.
Sorry, you're right.
You're
right. Her first appearance is Dawn of fucking guys in cowls, whatever. But her first film
Yeah.
is the most successful version of the character, I think, because it was her introduction contextually and metacontextually, and it was great. It doesn't feel like anyone else has figured out what to do with her in the role since then. 1984, I feel like was a disaster.
Oh, is that awful?
And
strangely rapey.
And all of her cameos have been one-liners that just don't really roll off the tongue. Like they're just not they're not very appealing. Like I'm just waiting for her to be in like a movie that people know what to do with the character. Yeah. Right?
No, that's good. That's
Yeah.
true. I find her to be charming as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't care for her. Or I don't have no reason to care for her. This movie
Changed all that.
she was there doing stuff. I think the movie was fine. It was less than fine. I didn't like it.
I liked it.
Why don't you start us off?
I
Tell
did
us,
enjoy it.
What did you enjoy?
Spoiler.
No, this is just we're still in the preamble.
Still preamble.
I did like it. There's a couple of non-spoiler the very beginning, it's like a cold open of a mission. And they immediately introduce her as, stay in the van, you're not ops. And I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, it was, immediately I didn't believe the premise because of how you casted the movie.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that that's just kind of like a structural issue.
I feel like if you cast Sandra Bullock, maybe then you could be like, oh,
yeah, like she's
Wait,
like there was absolutely no
What are the distinctions here between the
her
two?
being lost her being lost in the character was not perceivable at all. It was Gal Gadot. And then you're only tech and you're a hacker and you're not you stay in the van. But
she's so pretty.
not she's so pretty. Every single piece of material in every movie that she's in, she is the same exact capable person.
Oh yeah.
So she did not get lost in the plot at all. She was just
right.
it was like, there's that person who's pretending, not it's a surprise that she is actually not that. Do you know what I mean?
I was
like
surprised.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
all right.
I'm
no, I know
glad you were
now.
surprised.
I mean, I finished it, but
So I didn't buy the premise immediately and
Yeah.
just kind of rolled with it. However, I liked a lot of the action sequences. I think were clever, and there were 2 moments in the movie that made me kind of gasp
really?
in kind of like a gasp. Yeah, there were
Okay.
two
Nice.
sequences, two parts of the movie that literally made me kind of gasp, and I was like, ugh.
I want to hear about those in spoiler.
Okay.
I'm curious what they were. So, do you recommend this movie if you're like,
I think it is a solid C+, B- passive watch. It is better than a lot of things that are on Netflix right now.
what about like we were just bringing up Extraction?
It is not as gritty or creative as Extraction in how they stage the action. It just isn't. But I think it's a more involving story than Extraction too.
How about versus
Red Notice, it's better.
No.
Gray Man, it's not.
No.
What?
Old
Old Guard?
Guard.
No, Old Guard's better than all of
Okay,
them.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I just want to find out where these all lay in
Old
your
Guard is
Ruka-verse.
fantastic.
in the Rookaverse.
And honestly, like I don't think the script is the problem either. I just think that it's just a chemistry and alchemy that's on the screen. It's engaging enough. It's creative enough. The actors are fit enough. It's a good watch, but I wouldn't be like, stop what you're doing right now and put on Heart of Stone. No. Yeah, no.
wait till our show's over, then go
Nope.
watch them.
It's so important.
So, I did not enjoy this movie. I found it to be, as the kids say, mid AF.
those people are in their 30s. Now.
Yeah, and they also, I still call them kids because I'm 45. I have grown adults come into my shop that I call kids, and I'm like,
That makes sense.
And I'll be telling Sushan a story about the kids who came in. And I'm like, I mean, they were in their 20s.
Yeah.
So
He
not
calls
really
them all.
children.
He calls them all champ too.
Yeah,
It's very
a
weird.
Slugger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found this movie. I fell asleep several times during this movie,
It's another old man thing.
and yeah, it's just because I'm old.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of the acting was particularly engaging. I don't think any of the characters were particularly engaging. I think that the story tried so hard to keep me on my toes, veering left and right and doing reveals here and reveals there. And, you think it's this, but it's also this. And it just, none of it really worked for me. I feel like there was nothing new in this that was enough to make me even perk up my ears a little bit and go, oh, I have not seen that in an action movie before. And when it comes to action films that have action, fighting choreography in it, I think I have been spoiled by movies like Atomic Blonde and the John Wick films, where if you're going to be doing, or even Mission Impossibles, I think there's a lot of really clever and fun and engaging action in the Mission Impossible films.
Mission's Impossible.
The Mission's Impossible, yes. But this one, I didn't find.
Mission's Impossible.
It didn't feel like anyone was in danger. It didn't feel like anyone was being hurt. It didn't feel like enough work was done on the choreography to do anything inventive or new or exciting. I could not wait for this movie to be over. I didn't feel anything for any of the characters. I got absolutely nothing out of this film. I wish I had a better review. I don't like to give bad reviews, but even the music was boring and cookie cutter. Everything just felt mid.
Hey, what about the opening credits? I genuinely thought they were very cool.
I do too.
I don't
Yeah.
remember the opening credits.
Well,
What? Explain it.
They were animated.
they were sort of an anime.
it kind of. I was a little nervous because it looked like AI.
No.
Because it had like a pencil, colored pencil drawings, but the way that it was animated made it look like it was AI. So
I looked up before watching the movie. Well, what did you think?
yeah,
I thought it was a fun enough, decent B movie. That was like I had said. It was like there were a lot of twists and turns, but
were you surprised by them?
I was surprised
Oh, okay.
by
Maybe
some
shock,
of them.
not
yeah.
surprised. Yeah.
Like after it happened, I wasn't like, oh my god,
Yeah,
they did.
yeah.
I can't believe they thought to do that.
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
like, well, this thing happened. That happens in a
Yeah.
lot of movies, but you know.
Yes.
I did, however, think I specifically took note early on. What's her name? Stone.
Gal Gadot.
Rachel.
Oh,
Stone.
Rachel Hart.
Yeah, hard to.
Rachel
She's
Hart of
in
Stone.
Heart
She's
of
Nine of
Stone.
Hearts, but
Yeah.
she's Rachel Stone.
Yeah. The thing about the title and her name and this other thing, there's a lot going on there where the title, it's really hard to link together, right? The title is
It's-
Heart of Stone. The thing they're going after is the heart, and she is also part of the Hearts group, and her name is
The charter.
Stone. Yeah, but she's the subdivision,
Yeah.
right? So,
The-
and
she-
her
she
name
works for
is
the
Stone.
Right.
How is
King
the
of
heart?
Hearts.
Okay, can
how's
I-
the
may I-
title?
may I?
Yes.
Spoiler alert. I guess not really at all. She's the whole point of the movie is
She's the
don't
heart.
make decisions based on calculations and based on an AI that just heartlessly tells you what
I
to do.
guess she's-
Alone.
It is the heart that she has that she brings to the
So
job.
the title
that
of
makes
the movie
her
should be
Stone's Heart.
Stone of Heart. Or, no, that doesn't work either.
No, Heart of Stone, because it's
I-
about her heart. Her name
it's-
is Stone, and it's about
it's-
her heart.
It's got like
Yeah, I guess.
4 references in it. It's
Yeah.
actually
It's-
it's
a
actually
bit-
it's probably
a
the
lot.
most clever part of the entire
might
movie,
be.
having the
Well, but anyway,
Yeah.
so I did actually, when she fell over and she got hurt, I was like, oh, she actually got hurt. That was interesting. There were several characters that I found to be likable. The twists and turns just felt like they needed to put some twists and turns
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
There were a lot of them, and the action. Some of the action was cool. Was cool. I actually was surprised. I thought she was gonna be the person in the van who gets pushed into the field work kind of thing.
I see. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then so
yeah.
when
Well, I
there
saw
was-
trailers.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
and there was that very early in the movie turn. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
That was
That was
cool.
and also
Yeah.
too, I think that was a fun sequence. All the Alp
Yeah,
stuff was a fun
that was
sequence.
cool.
Let's wrap up this
Let's get
section.
into the
Do
spoilers.
you recommend it?
Like if you need something to watch,
Yeah.
then you could watch it. Yeah. But if there's
That's
anything else that
everything?
you're interested
Yeah.
in, what's that?
That's everything.
Yeah, but there's things that I would say, no, don't watch. This is
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
You don't
Okay.
watch this. Whereas this is like,
If you're in a mood for a B,
you want to watch
action
a
movie,
B action movie,
Yeah.
but if
And-
there's anything else you want to watch that.
If you're in the mood for if you're in the mood for a B action movie on Netflix and you've already watched Old Guard, Gray Man, and both Extractions,
Okay.
then this is the one.
This
This
is
is
the
the
one.
one.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and if you watched enough of those that like you watched all those, so you're obviously cool with this kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Watch the movie.
yeah.
Yeah, watch this movie.
There is a void of movie theater experiences that are this type of action movie, dad action movies.
Action movies.
No,
No, that doesn't work.
I like it.
So
I think
let's
Daction
move
would be
on-
a good name for a
Action.
person.
I think that's awful.
Let's move on to spoilers.
Good is yeah.
We're gonna spoil this movie. So
Yeah.
the reveal at the beginning. There's many reveals in this movie.
You
Yeah.
guys keep saying many. I'm thinking 2.
Okay, go ahead.
There's 2 reveals and 5 twists and a turn.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
One jump.
The only one.
Yeah.
So it was not a surprise that white guy was the actual bad guy.
The
not-
whole
I was
time.
surprised.
It's not a surprise. Entire time, like he's the bad
It's
guy.
supposed to be though.
Yeah. Him shooting the other 2 in the face without breathing.
That
That
was-
was a shock.
that was like,
and,
ooh,
and
got
that's
me.
what was because
Yeah.
I had just started liking both of them a lot.
Me
Yeah.
too. I was like,
Yeah.
Billy,
Shot
come
in the
on, man.
face.
Yang, whatever. She was undeveloped, but
She was great. No, she wasn't.
I didn't have a
She was
problem with
badass.
it. I liked
And
her.
she enjoys Lizzo. Yeah.
She does like
That's
those.
cool.
Yeah.
She dances. That's cool for a
see.
secret agent.
So
That was a shock to me, and I was like, "Fuck you, movie!" Like, that clicked me in.
don't stay in the van, or stay in the van.
Yeah.
And then the big reveal of like, oh, she's actually a secret agent for a whole different
Embedded
organization.
in another organization,
Yeah.
which I thought was a cool choice.
That was a pretty cool.
Yeah.
twist.
And then that guy being a bad guy, the white guy being the bad guy, and then what was after that?
That's literally it, guys. There's no other like maybe the change in allegiance, but that's not a twist.
No, I didn't think of that
Yeah.
as a twist.
There's no other like heavy reveal, just some deaths
I
that
don't
you
remember.
didn't want to happen. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's,
Oh,
yeah.
that woman. Then when she was driving them, they get picked up in the desert, and she's like, "Hey, let me help you out."
Yeah.
Ha. I'm getting paid. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was. I mean, that's fine.
That was a good Brian Leeb.
There we go.
Ah,
That so that like him shooting the other two agents was
Yeah.
I thought that was devastating because those
Yeah.
four people had very Rucka qualities in regards to how tactical teams work, and if you saw Old Guard, it's like the best part of that movie is the five of them together and their interaction with each other, and that was just starting to build, and all of a sudden both of them caught bullets in the face.
Yeah.
And he had been like the one guy who was, always like, "Oh, I think this shadowy organization exists," and he did find out, but then he gets killed right away.
Immediately.
Like I thought, he might end up joining.
It would've been
Charter
cool.
By the
Would've
end
been
of it.
cool.
It would have been cool. And this is a situation where I'm like, oh man, you really succeeded in creating a character that I liked, and now he's not part of the movie anymore. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
genuinely shocking to me. And the other time in the movie, and this was kind of stupid, that I audibly made a noise like in excitement was the motorcycle chase. In some country.
Iceland, I believe.
Iceland? Yeah, well, you're right.
Yeah.
The motorcycle chase I just thought was so incredibly clever and really fun. The way that she hooked onto the truck and knocked the other guy
That
out.
was cool.
But then his bike
motorcycle
literally hit him.
Yeah.
kills him.
That
Yeah.
was
a
so
good
well
bit.
done. I
That
was
was
just
a
like
good
that.
bit.
Like I was
Yeah.
snapping like a fucking beatnik. That was so fun. And there was a lot of like really, and there was some of the squirrel suit stuff was really engaging. Like
Yeah.
there were genuine sequences that really worked, but everything in between them felt like a chore. And it makes me think like this director Tom Harper, he has done a movie on Amazon Prime called The Aeronauts that I never cared for.
Never heard of it.
That Daniel Radcliffe Hammer horror movie, Woman in Black, like the sequel.
The sequel to it. Yeah.
Like nothing that is very exciting.
Yeah.
And he killed at the action sequences, but didn't seem like he gave a shit whatsoever about all the stuff that happened between it. It was just plot, and I think it showed.
Yeah. I wasn't even engaged by except for him being murdered by his own motorcycle.
That was awesome.
I thought that was great.
crazy awesome.
Yeah.
I also like
and
her-
the explosion. They did a really good job with that explosion that knocks
Oh.
over the van.
Yeah,
All of
that was cool.
Yeah, that whole explosion. I was like, oh, damn.
Oh,
That's a good
the
explosion.
van car chase was fantastic. Her last move, actually, like getting both of the other cars into
To boink.
pylons
Yeah.
while she like ran between.
Yeah.
There was some really, you know what? The second unit director is probably the GOAT for this whole movie, and they should direct an action movie going forward. Yeah.
Now, I thought so they do the original twist of her being a secret agent,
Yeah.
pretending to be a lesser secret agent, and then
A not so secret agent.
yes, yeah, and then I thought, well, this is the movie that they're building where she is actually the competent one, and these super spies are like the goofy ones who dance and is, he's this like square jawed, capable but not super agent level, kind of thing. So I was very surprised when it turns out that they were not building that kind of movie.
I'm also glad that they were not building like some boring ass romance subplot.
Oh, God. That's
Now,
a good
I really
point.
thought
So boring.
I was very surprised that we did not see that guy from the beginning again, who hits on her.
Oh, that's what my wife said too. That's what Sam
yeah.
said too. She was like, "He's going to be important."
What
I'm
is he like?
No, I think that's just a joke.
No, the
I
guy
thought,
was like, is this seat taken? You can take it wherever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then, he shows up again.
shows up again.
yeah.
and
with
I
the bike.
to me, that was that's the callback. That's the
Yeah,
end
that's
of the
it.
joke.
We're done.
Not he's actually going to turn around in a chair and with a cat and just like be a part of all of it.
Oh, see, I thought he was going to be definitely that, but on the good side. I thought he was like, what is he, an even more high-level secret agent?
the
Like,
highest
what is
level.
this?
The charter's charter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think all the blocks of a better movie are here. Nay, a better story are here. And I mean, I don't. I'm biased, but I don't think it's Rucka's fault. I think this movie just is mediocre, but the root of all the stuff that's in this movie, I think, is really engaging. I would have read this comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. So all right, I'm watching this. We get about 30 seconds into the part where they describe the breakdown of this organization. And I say, oh, he thought of this maybe while he was writing Checkmate. Because there's a super secret spy organization based on playing cards. The order of the cards and the kings are all four of them had their own units.
Yep.
In Checkmate, there are chessboards, and there's only 2 divisions in it.
And that was
but
that was part of the thing that I was just like, oh God, all right, we get it. Like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
This is not new or clever to me.
Hey, what's his name? James Gunn.
Oh,
Don't be a coward.
Jimmy.
Make a Checkmate movie.
I would
Make
watch
Checkmate.
that. Yeah, I would absolutely
Hire
watch
Greg Rucka
that. Yeah.
to spec script a Checkmate.
See, I was not against it. I was like,
I wasn't
all right, he's
against it.
definitely
It just wasn't new. It was just
Nothing in this movie is new. That's just
Yeah.
it. Like
No.
there are certain horror movies we watch for them to check off boxes,
Yeah.
and sometimes they surprise us in how they checked off the box or they chose to zig. But if those boxes are checked, I'm happy. Action movies like this are almost the exact same thing. Spy movies like this can be the exact same thing, where like just competently or engagingly check off those boxes, and I'm happy. A Mission Impossible does that, but they do it with flair, and like I don't think it needed to be original. I think it needed to be tighter. That's it.
yeah. And there were a few lines in there where you're like, that's it.
And
We're just like, yeah, tighter would be
No
nice.
knock to Gal Gadot. She's incredibly charming. She's got Riz for days. I would love to see her act in her original language, in her native language. I would like to know what that sounds like, because they have her reciting this dialogue that is marble-mouthed for most of the movies she's in. And it's not even a knock to her language. It's work with the character that work with the actor and the character that you've, put together, not here, just try this. Because it doesn't sound natural or organic when she's like getting in the weeds.
Yeah.
It just doesn't to me.
I
But I know it's not her talent
I don't
because
really-
I've seen her be great.
I didn't really buy her as this super agent either. I just, like I was saying earlier, the having mystical powers, and you don't need muscles for that. But I feel like you
she's
do
really
kind of
good.
need muscles to be doing this work.
Hand-to-hand training. that
In
kind of
Red
thing.
Notice, she's very charming and pretty effective because she's like a burglar and she does the little slippery stuff and disarms the Rock with cool moves. But in this, she's a brawler.
Yeah.
And it's a little less.
I don't buy her as a brawler.
It's a little less effective. Yeah. She's like a body slams people and takes lots and lots of knives to the gut.
But I was thinking about it with comparing it to Atomic Blonde, starring
Charlize
Theron, who also is not like ripped, But I buy her more so than I buy Gal Gadot in this role. And I don't know, maybe it's just like because of the training.
I think it's just the movie too, because the context of Atomic Blonde was she got the shit kicked out of her and
just kept standing up.
all of it. No, all the scenes in between was her still with the shit kicked out of her and constantly taking more damage.
Yeah.
There was a context that kind of made it all work.
Yeah, more real world.
Yeah.
She plays a spy in an action comedy with John Hamm, Zach Galifianakis, and
the
Isla
Millers?
Fisher.
No, the Joneses. Keep up with the Joneses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
never saw
fun.
it.
It's a fun movie, and she plays
Who does?
Gal Gadot.
Charlize Theron. Oh,
Gal Gadot.
Oh.
Yeah. And she plays a very effective, high society spy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a fun movie. It's good.
Oh, and she's also wonderful in the Fast movies. She is in
Oh,
Fast.
I didn't know she was.
She's in
those.
Fast and Furious. That's part 4.
Oh.
Fast 5 and
Fast
Furious 6.
Cool.
There was something
Fast 6.
about this movie. I felt like half did a bunch of sort of story themes and tropes, right? Like there's a little bit about, which you said was the main thrust of the movie, but you can't trust this newfangled thinking machine that will never have the heart that a human has. That was kind of underbaked I felt like
you have no imagination.
Yeah, like you'll never. In fact, it reminded me of a quote by Douglas Adams that I just recently saw, and so I got it. And let me say, so he says, anything that is in the world when you're born is normal and ordinary and is just a natural part of the way the world works. Anything that's invented between when you're 15 and 35 is new and exciting and revolution, and you can probably get a career in it. Anything invented after you're 35 is against the natural order of things. And
That's great.
Yeah, it is. And it very much is. Like people say, like, I don't need this technology. I'm just going to sit in my chair and write with my pen. You know, I'm like, those are all technology. But and this is, you know, it's a neo-Luddite kind of soft neo-Luddite, but still like computers will never have what we humans have, and therefore are to be distrusted. And even in the movie, they said, had she followed the Heart's advice,
Her team would be alive.
then probably this wouldn't have happened. Or they could have killed them. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
You know what, too? I'm glad that they, in regards to the Heart and the plot of the Heart, it is not an AI. It's just a supercomputer.
Yeah,
and someone,
that they use.
And someone
Yeah.
maintains it.
Yeah.
It's not, the Heart says this. It's the Heart has informed, and you should make this choice. Like, it's the Heart is not making the choices.
Right.
It's just informing the choices.
Yeah.
Which
Probabilities.
I preferred. I don't know if I'd want like a AI movie. Yeah.
I also thought them getting rid of that was a bit of an unusual choice, and maybe not one that I thought was good, but the plot couldn't have happened without that. She is introduced as a super spy with the classic, like, I have this one thing or access to this one thing that gives me this phenomenal edge, right? Not superpowers, but kind of in the same vein. And then took it away fairly, you know, like we see how cool it is, and then she's doing it without it, but without the kind of experience with the powers that it's like, oh, she does a lot of cool stuff, and here's how she has to handle life without the powers, like often happens in the sequel to a superhero movie. I'm not always the biggest fan of the fact that it happens, but I felt in this case, you're like, oh, you get it, but not that much time with it. And then it's just about, well, see, she can do it without, but I don't care if she can do it without that much, you know. I also felt they underdid the, what's his name? Great actor, also in Mr. Robot and Jurassic Park, B.D. Wong.
Oh yeah. I mean, B.D. Wong and Glenn Close. They were
Glenn Close
They were
was-
they were fucking cameos.
It's so weird that.
Yeah.
But I thought his theme of like, I feel bad that I ordered the strike that killed or that didn't kill this guy, but that could have killed him, was just a few lines of dialogue, and then at the end, he's
but
like, I hear you.
But he's B.D. Wong.
No, I know he was great. He's always great, but his story was just another kind of half theme.
I felt that about a lot of the characters. I don't think any of the characters were well developed at all. The one character who's a friend of hers on the team, he likes cats.
And he has a niece.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's-
I
Bailey.
liked him though.
That's
Bailey
the
was
character.
wonderful.
I like that guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Bailey was great.
Well, he's dead.
I was upset about that.
He's
Yeah.
extremely
that-
dead.
I wrote a
mean-
letter.
10 minutes ago,
To his niece.
I explained as to why that bothered me, and you just make fun of it. So that's cool.
He's dead.
Yeah. We respect each other's opinions here.
I regret watching this movie.
Yeah.
It put me in.
It
It put
is
me in a
not
bad
that
mood.
bad.
It put me in a bad mood.
It is not that bad.
You also said that you were hangry and you
I
hadn't
was
eaten
hangry.
anything.
Yeah,
so maybe
you were hangry.
that's the
You're
case.
tired.
Yeah.
You rushed the movie in
Did
chunks.
not rush it.
Well,
you had to
well.
squeeze it in. That's rushing it.
Yeah. You can't not
So like,
rush a
there was a
squeeze
lot
in.
of shit against this movie. Yeah.
You can't not rush a squeeze in.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
my
our-
whole
that's our
thesis
motto
here.
here.
If it's squeezed in, it implies
Yeah.
a rush of
So, right.
time having
Exactly.
to fit it in.
Yeah.
No, I had plenty of time. It took me about 4 hours to watch this 2-hour movie. I kept having to pause it.
You had to pause it.
Yeah, because my son wouldn't leave me alone.
Again,
All right, well.
distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Partly the
come on.
fault of
Yeah.
Tom Harper or Greg Rucka.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, I watched the first half hour of this movie unencumbered, plenty of time to go, and I was just like, can we get down the goddamn mountain, please? You're still trying to get down this
that
mountain.
scene was awesome.
How long is
That's
this
great.
scene
Those
going to
are
be going where
really
you're
cool
just
scenes.
trying to get to the bottom of a mountain?
She was trying
forever.
very hard. It was
Took forever.
She was parachuting down the side of
You see,
avoiding
like-
trees, taking a snow
yeah,
bike
so-
from that guy.
So it was edited to put you inside of the scene,
Yeah.
and it was done.
We have
liked it.
so
I
we
liked it.
we don't have any time to get down this mountain, but also here's 20 minutes of us getting down this mountain.
They literally say 8 minutes
Yeah, and
and
it's like
7
20
minutes.
minutes
It's
later.
not 20 minutes at all.
But the
Yeah.
car was not moving at light speed down the mountain.
Yeah.
She just had to beat that car. You
I'm just
see.
saying it was a really long cold open. I was like, are we still doing this? All right.
it
That was
Yeah, I
well
think it was pretty
paced.
good.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
liked it.
yeah.
I'm glad you guys
I
liked
like that.
Here's the order of here's the order of how you should watch the wonderful action movies on Netflix, from top to bottom.
it. Okay.
Old Guard,
It's good.
Extraction 1,
Yeah, I'm with you.
Gray Man,
Never watched it.
Extraction 2.
Didn't watch it.
These are all really close to each other, by the way.
Oh yeah. Which
this,
one's the Gray Man? That's the Russo brothers.
That's the Russo
Who's
brothers.
in that? Anybody?
Ken.
Ryan
Oh,
Gosling.
Ryan
Ryan
Gosling.
Gosling. Yeah.
He's
Ryan
Knuff.
Gosling.
Yeah.
He's wonderful in it. Like
Is
he's
he?
he's a and Chris Evans is in it. He's the bad guy.
Oh, he's delightful.
Yeah. Let's talk about Gray
Oh,
Man.
Jabberwocky
Oh.
says Gray Man was so
Right?
good.
It was a dumb
Jabberwocky.
movie, but it was so beautifully directed. Lots of like a really like fucking crazy drone shots and stuff. It was good.
And a
then
Frab just ate to
this-
you, Jabberwocky, by the way.
This and then the last one being Red Notice, which is fine.
Oh, so Red Notice is under this.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Okay.
this is a better movie than Red Notice.
Okay.
Even though
All
Red
right.
Notice has a solid twist halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know neither of you guys watched it.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed until earlier today.
Tis a comedy.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
really?
a comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Ryan Reynolds. It's a fucking comedy. It's
Did you
him
see-
and The Rock just like joking at each other.
There was another one that I think Ryan Reynolds was in. It was about like
Hitman's
2 years ago.
Bodyguard?
No,
Oh.
it was another big action
Wasn't very
movie.
good.
No.
It was another big Netflix action movie. Big deal.
Oh, what the space one?
No,
Space one.
I don't remember. It
Free
was
Guy
another.
wasn't
It was like
Netflix,
this.
but that was
Yeah.
No,
studio
There was the one where he went back in time.
No,
To
that
see
was
it.
Oh, I
great.
haven't
That was a
seen
fun
that yet.
movie.
That was fun.
That was
I've
a
been
fun movie.
suggesting
Yeah.
that at the movie suggestion times for a while now. No go
with
so far.
with your fiance.
yeah, she's
Okay.
not feeling it.
I just
Yeah.
put it on.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It's good. I like a good time travel movie.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good time travel family movie. Yeah.
Jabberwocky, did you watch this Heart of Stone? I believe that's Callie Grace. Hi, Callie.
oh, fantastic.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. No
Anyway.
one's chiming in. I don't know. I don't think anyone else watched
didn't.
this.
Oh,
movie.
nobody's here anymore. We're
It's-
here alone.
it's
in
the
void.
buzz hasn't hit yet.
Yeah.
It is not. I don't think it's a bad movie.
Okay.
I
think it's a bad
I
movie
think it
either.
needs to be tighter.
bad. I don't think it's bad. I just didn't like it.
Well, when you
the
say
difference between those two
That the
that you
beginning?
hated watching it. And
Yeah.
I said I didn't enjoy watching it.
Okay.
I think it's bad.
What would a movie have to be bad?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it, but
didn't-
it's not
right.
bad.
Like I would say probably The Terrifier. I didn't finish it.
So not okay. All right.
Like I'm so done with this movie that I am getting out of here.
Oh
And,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've only done
That's
that.
bad.
I've
Yeah,
only
what have
done
you
that
walked out
for
of?
a few. I can't even remember walking out.
Battlefield
of a movie.
Earth.
I watched all of it
Yeah, I still never seen it.
because
think
I
I've
was
seen
drunk.
it. It's a shame
Yeah.
the book is. The first lot of the books are pretty good.
That's
but,
okay.
yeah.
The trailer for
It's
Heart
like
of
1,000
Stone did
pages.
not sell me, and I really like Gal Gadot. Says Jabberwocky.
It's better than the
Noah
trailer.
says
I
you
think.
should check it out.
I think it's
Brian
better than the
says
trailer.
if you've seen all the other action movies, then maybe watch it.
I
I'm
know.
paraphrasing.
I said, if there's anything else you want to watch,
Watch that
you should watch
instead.
that. But
So that means they'll never
you could
watch
watch
this.
this.
It's like when
There's
you're at
always
the end
something-
of the rope
yeah.
and there's no
Well,
hope for other
yeah.
content. Give this a shot.
when
Yeah.
the atoms drift far enough away that entropy is nearly here,
It's inevitable.
So next
there's
week
one DVD left.
we're gonna talk about Blue Beetle.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, why
Oh,
not?
I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
Me too.
Great.
It's the Rotten Tomato score is released today
and it's
in
100%.
in the 80s.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's very good.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm into that. I was kind of excited about it, just like regular superhero movie coming out excitement. And then when I saw the trailers, I was like, "Ooh, this looks
I
really
think,
I have a
I
good."
think
question.
it looks wonderful.
Yeah.
You mentioned Rotten Tomatoes just now. Mm-hmm. And also you out there in TV land, in
Buttland.
YouTube land. Do you look at those scores and does it affect your decision one way or another if you're going to go see a movie? I don't think I've ever seen a Rotten Tomatoes score or a review from literally anyone and been like, I was excited about that, and now I'm not going to go see it.
JD, you asked Noel his thoughts and addressed it to everyone out there.
And now I'm looking at you.
May I offer my
Yeah, that's why I'm
opinion?
looking to you.
Thank you. No, it
my turn
will.
first.
It will affect me in the positive direction if
Well,
I
you get-
hear right.
Like you're not, you don't want to see it, but then you'll hear good things, so then you'll go see it.
Yeah, it's like,
that's good.
this is at like a 97%. Wow, maybe.
I must be missing something.
I mean, that's what would happen if I saw a Rotten Tomatoes review.
I never even looked. Yeah.
I never really do. I sometimes, if we're like scrolling through endless pages of movies trying to find something, and it's like, all right, this one's rated pretty highly. Let's check that out. But if I see some negative review, no, what do I care what they think? Who gives a shit?
I think Rotten Tomatoes scores colored my expectations like Suicide Squad #1.
To the good or bad?
Yeah, wait,
Probably-
what does that mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, you kind of mumbled your way through it. Jabberwocky says, I think the Rotten Tomatoes scores colors my expectations like Suicide Squad #1. Was that good or bad? And then Robert says, I never consider the Rotten Tomatoes scores for anything I want to see. What about you, Noel?
So I'm going to qualify this
Please.
answer. I have a minor in cinema studies. I do not think criticism is worthless.
Oh, no. I don't think
Hang
it's
on, hold
worthless.
on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
There is a current school of thought that all criticism is worthless because objective enjoyment is all that matters. And yes, it is what matters to you. But I do think exploring art in a critical lens is valuable. Do I think that everything is criticism? No. Do I think that something like Rotten Tomatoes that aggregates actual criticism from like hundreds of other places? Yeah, I do. I think that the score is interesting, and whether it's high and I didn't think it was going to be, or low and I didn't think it was going to be, I do read those reviews, and I think it's like really interesting. Like, oh, wouldn't have expected that, or oh, that's interesting, and like it usually will pique my interest more so than positively or negatively make me go or push away. I think that the audience scores are absolute bullshit because those are just gut reactions based off of what team you're on for the most part.
Or
I
even
think those
just
are bullshit.
intentionally gamed.
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
What team you're on.
Yeah,
Like,
okay, yeah.
whether you viscerally hate without knowing or without actually considering.
Yeah,
So I think like that level of critique is dead and worthless, but Rotten Tomatoes itself, actually I think is pretty useful and I think it's pretty cool. Like I like seeing what things aggregate score as, and then I will read like a sample of the positive and a sample of the negative, and just like I love film reviews, real film reviews.
I like film reviews. One of my favorite things to do after watching a movie is then going and checking out the reviews. I like to, okay, I've watched the movie, I've experienced the thing. Now I'm going to go just see what everyone else's reaction to it is. Like the other day I had gone and seen Talk to Me, a new horror movie that's out in theaters right now. And I actively went searching for a podcast that was talking about it. So I found a new podcast that I'd never heard of before. And I wound up really enjoying it. It's called Hack or Slash. And it was, I just like to read and listen to reviews after the fact.
Yeah,
They help me sort of like solidify my own thoughts and my own reactions.
Well, I'll do that. I really only seek them out if I really, really liked a movie, or in a minority of the time, even more disliked a movie and want commiseration about it, right? So that's what I'll do is I go, and it surprises me that there's a feeling out there that like, oh, criticism is worthless because like talking about art will always have a place.
It's worthless in so much as there's no way to truly monetize it because it's just a cacophony of noise online. Like we grew up with trusted sources and or platforms.
Oh yeah.
Now it's just every fucker with a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. No, that stuff is only as valuable as the enjoyment you get out of watching it.
It's just a cacophony of noise
Yeah.
and everyone dogpiling. It's not actual examination of reactions or feelings or execution of the movie.
There's people posting garbage can emojis. Like, all right, thanks.
Yeah.
Now
like weird eyes.
Sometimes
smile and
I do share those opinions. Sometimes I think trash could be trash or garbage is garbage, but I love talking about why I think it's garbage. Not it's shit.
Yeah.
And you never actually saw it.
But also you also enjoy garbage. right?
I enjoy trash. I don't enjoy
Oh, it's trash.
garbage.
I always confuse
Yeah.
them. Trash
Trash
is good.
is fun. So like, there's an aspect of Heart of Stone. It's a bit of a trashy movie. There's nothing really special about it. It's just it's fun trash. Fast and Furious, fun trash. Garbage is just bad.
Yeah.
It's just there's no trashy has enjoyment. Garbage has just
Nothing.
I'll tell you what, I think it even relates. Garbage is wet and organic.
Ah.
Trash is
like
like
a
paper.
rolled up piece of paper.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's a good way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
Now I can hopefully
garbage
remember.
has a smell.
Yeah.
Trash is
yeah.
just clean it up.
Like trash just
Yeah.
happens to be in the trash
It's a mess.
can.
It's a little
It's a
bit,
bit of a mess.
It's a little messy,
It's a little
but
bit
you
of a
know
mess.
what? There's a charm to
Yeah.
organized chaos.
You can still put your hand in there. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause
Yeah,
that
yeah.
paper was
Oh.
on the table like 2 minutes ago.
It's fine. Yeah.
I do like I grew up pre-internet like an old man. Every Friday, reading the Chicago Sun-Times and looking at the film reviews in print from Ebert and
Cisco.
no Siskel wrote
Roper?
for, Roper
Hmm.
eventually wrote for the Tribune. Siskel wrote for the Chicago Tribune,
Okay.
and Ebert wrote for the Chicago Sun-Times, competing newspapers. That's why they were against.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. So we would always get the Sun-Times, which was a bifold, not a trifold
Oh.
newspaper.
You had a bifold newspaper?
Yeah, it was like a big book.
that's
And those were his reviews. So I grew up reading his explicit reviews on stuff, and I would get upset if it was a movie I was excited about and he only gave it like 2 stars. But it still created like a level set for me about how to just talk about movies, or at least how to consider movies. So yeah, I it was never spoilers. It didn't bother me, and it just it made me want to like disagree or figure out the language too. Whereas now it's just like you're a fan of Snyder and you want everyone to get fired if it's not him.
Yeah.
Or you're a fan of
Yeah.
yeah, it's stupid. It's
The
just
same
stupid.
people are just like, what's the new term? Pedo gun?
Yeah.
What?
Like, there are people who usually the Snyder Bros refer to James Gunn as Pedo Gun because he made a bunch of jokes like 15 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Are they? My understanding was the hardline Snyder people had not turned on James Gunn.
Oh, they do.
Oh, do they?
Oh, they hate him.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody who's doing
What's-
something that's not.
What's hardlined? I mean, isn't it?
Well, because no, I mean, just there are some people that really like those movies and wanted to see more of them, but don't like go online and harass people.
Oh,
You know, like
they,
that.
they exist, sure.
Yeah.
But generally, we're talking about the other.
Well, I'm talking
what I'm
about
saying.
the
Subclass.
Yeah,
cacophony of garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wet, stinky garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, now you got
The
it.
sloppy fucks on Twitter.
The sloppy fucks. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us, you sloppy fucks.
Get on
You can email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of Heart of Stone.
or any of those
anything-
other action movies on Netflix that we talked about that are wonderful.
Or anything else.
Or literally anything. We're
Like,
so lonely.
If you want to hear about Art Deco buildings, let us know that.
and we will talk about it offline. Also, if you have your favorite
Brian Lieb impression.
Brian Lieb impressions, yeah.
Yeah.
Send in your Brian Lieb impressions.
that.
Either write out a Brian Lieb impression that you want JD to read and or others.
Also, audio is fine. Also, maybe I will read your over-the-top impressions of me.
Oh, that defeats the purpose.
It depends on how over-the-top they are. I'm actually saying these things. We'll see.
Jabberwocky says, was nice chatting with you guys. Nice chatting with you, Jabbers. We love you. Bye.
See you.
Next week for Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. Jaime Reyes.
Ta-da.
Do-do-do.